All right. So let me start this. We're recording, we're live. Hey everyone, to another community office hour. It's not just any community office hour, it's the first community-driven office hour because um, Magnus Fury was kind enough to share his progress on Convert to T. I always call it an AI-assisted um, packaging tool, but he'll probably have a much better, and cooler name for it. But before we dive in, and I'll hand over to Magnus Vieri, I just wanted to give you a couple of updates on T and kind of like the current progress. As you may or may not have read in the newsletter that came out just 2 days ago, kind of like wrapping up March. It was kind of AI March, which led also to this really interesting session here today. But yeah, there were like tons of AI models that got released. So this open source model Llama from Facebook, and then people kept improving the model and building on top of ever more bigger data sets. And then there was Alpaca and GPT-4All. I think is kind of like one of the latest additions. All of these models were, packaged up for T, and you could just run them on your local machine. So that's open source right there. I think I posted or we posted a couple of tweets about it. Also shared it here um, in the Discord. But yeah, I feel like we should almost open a separate AI channel for it because there's so much cool stuff happening there. Other than that, TCLI is really getting into shape. We're up to version 0.262. It's improving. It's really stable already. And we've got, we had that initial goal of like, the top 300 packages. We crossed those by, a margin already. We're more than 330 packages already in. We've extended also the top 300 by all of the kind of dependencies that they have. So that's also a really good list on GitHub that I can post here as well. Just for those of you who may not have seen it yet or may not remember. That's a great list to work off of, and you can see exactly which packages have not been packaged yet. Then another huge change, we kind of we had split pantries between Pantry Core and Pantry Extra. We put those into a single pantry, so all the packages now live in one repository. That means all the contributions and everything is in one repository. And so it's a lot more manageable at this moment. We have not given up on the decentralized pantries. We just have pushed it out a bit. Yeah, and then contributors are growing as well. The last count I made was it was like around 56, although I saw that there were another contributor that was merged today. So we're probably like closing in on 60 contributors very soon. We're, GitHub stars are going up. There's only one way for GitHub stars to go. It's actually not, they can also go down, but ours keep going up. So that's also great to see. And yeah, is there anything else that maybe Roman or Max wants to mention?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, didn't realize. Been eating my lunch. Yeah, I'm only going to be
I
able
didn't hear that.
listen in a bit. Let's see. Well, I've pretty much narrowed down what V1 is going to be. I realized recently after going through it that we've done a lot of the stuff already, but essentially everything has to just work. That's the part which I think is missing from some parts. Like T looks like it's super great, and then you try to use it with like VS Code or get some of these tools to work together well, and they don't work together well yet. And so, you know, for all the major languages, I'm going to go through, make sure everything's working great, and then figuring out how to. We're calling it dark magic. This the set of features which are going to like enhance the magic to the point where it's really great and beyond anything like any other kind of tool like this does. Even I wouldn't spoil the feature set.
Nice. Yeah, dark magic sounds very intriguing. We'll definitely learn more about that soon, hopefully. Very cool. So I think without further ado, I'm really excited to, have Magnus Vieri. He's just, a brief introductions among community slash strangers. He's been, one of the, very, very early supporters of T. I think our first external contributor to T has been really active at his, workplace and is in his network promoting T. I've given a speech at his workplace about T. So it's just a really great relationship, and he's had this. I'll let you explain why you came up with this idea and why you wanted to experiment with it. But just super grateful that you're doing the session here with us for the community, and I will kind of like focus my screen. So Magnus is sharing his screen. I don't know if I'm controlling everyone's screen or you have to do this yourself. But yeah, over to you, Magnus.
Okay. So you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, this is the presentation you gave. Yeah, so I'll just explain a little bit of what you just said. I read the Medium article that Max wrote a while ago, and I just thought it was a really great idea. I do packaging for my job, except it's less command line and more GUI stuff. And there's a lot of people in my circle. Let me bring up Slack so you guys can see my circle here. This is that drives me crazy. I don't know if it messes you up, but these are Mac administrators, and so I think this is one of the larger one with 15,000 people in it. And they just gab and gab and gab. And there's even a homebrew channel with only 500 people in it. And the biggest thing with the homebrew channel is how homebrew doesn't really work for our environment. And a few people have worked to, they've hacked homebrew up a little bit to get it to work. But then when I saw T and I saw when I read about some of the ideas, I just thought, oh, this is a solution to just about all of the problems. The only thing that T doesn't do that I'm hoping it will do that Homebrew does is GUI apps, but I'm sure I think Max said that there's going to be the ability for the community to do stuff, and so I'm hoping for that. There's also another tool called Auto Package, and not that Auto Package. That also has been written by the community, that is specifically for packaging up software and distributing it out to computers. So this is T's actually pretty close to the type of thing that I do for my day job. Just right now it's kind of it's kind of parallel. I should put it like that. So that's my motivation. Besides the fact that I think it's really awesome, and working with Max is a lot of fun. And okay, so like most computer people, I'm always trying to automate myself out of a job. So I thought, well, hey, why don't we have AI make packages? So that was the motivation behind this. I'd actually done a previous attempt to code, massively convert the entire homebrew 6,000 packages, and it was just messy. So that was my introduction to what the packages were like. But then with all the AI hype going on, I decided to try AI. So that's what I've done. So I just updated. Where is it at? I just updated the repository 10 hours ago, last night for me. And I basically switched to LangChain. So I was accessing the OpenAI library directly. Let me show that. Actually, I think I can do it from here. I think BBEdit. So I'm using BBEdit. I probably shouldn't figure this out while I'm being recorded, but so I'll do this. So if I look at the versions, anyway, I don't need to show you. It was I was just using the OpenAI module, and what I ended up changing was just a little bit of code that is unique to LangChain, and this is unique to LangChain. And I was using I don't know how to pronounce it, JNinja, the JNinja whatever templating engine, and I couldn't get that to work with LangChain, so I just switched it over to their template thing, which isn't as powerful, but I don't think I made up this file extension. I don't know that it actually matters. So this is my template, and I'm putting in like a brew example, a tea example, and then the package that I want to convert and the name of the package, and then I send it to the large language model. So if you want to look at this on the web page or on Git, it's going to be in convert to T and templates, and there's my template. And so let's do raw. I think it'll be more readable. And I thought, if I actually list some of the dependencies that are possible, it might have a better shot at picking the right dependencies. And you can actually see the output here. So if I go to output, these are the output straight from the large language model. So and if you download it, you can look at it a lot faster. So I'm going to do that. So so not this, it'll be it'll be this. I'm going to open this up here, and then I can look at the output real quick. So I changed it on my local machine. So this was the original output, and so and I'll name it OpenAI 1, but on the Git repository it's named output old. So kind of confused here. Output old. That's the first attempt. So I basically I've saved all of the output that I've ever tried. So this was like my very, very first attempts at converting stuff, and some of it was pretty garbage. For example, it puts this text, unfortunately, as a language model, and some of them were nothing but that, and so it didn't even produce any output like that right there. Basically saying it can't convert it. And as I got to the bottom of the list, I got a little bit better. It's to where I would at least check for that. And if it didn't have a distributable, it would start over. but with the new prompt, so that's the first attempt. The new prompt, this is the second attempt. It was almost, I don't think I had any of those. So the new prompt, let me bring up that prompt again. Where's it at? In here, templates. This prompt produced, I think it actually got it to produce consistent output. And so I was actually pretty happy about that. I haven't actually tried to I've packaged one of these. I've tried to package a couple, and I thought maybe if there weren't questions, I could just do that, actually see if one of these will package. But I don't know what else to really talk about other than, I can talk about the code. So yeah, I'll just talk about that real quick. So basically what I'm doing is I'm calling, before I do that. So the README, I tested the README last night, and these are the steps to get it to work if you want to run it on your own machine. You will use your OpenAI credits. So first of all, you have to have an OpenAI account. So if you don't have an OpenAI account, you have to have an OpenAI account. And I'm seeing messages. That's something else. So whoops. So you have to have an OpenAI account. I just had to restart my browser. It's probably going to play lots of music.
Ford.
So while we wait for you to come back, I think it's super interesting. I mean, what OpenAI enables, right, with the API is just this easy to use kind of like interface where you can just send something OpenAI's way and you get a return, whether it's the ChatGPT API or the Instruct API. Yeah. Would be interesting. One of my questions would be if you have tried it with like an open source model yet, or if you're interested in trying it with an open source model.
I have. That's actually why I switched to LangChain. I'm really sorry about that. You just heard all my YouTube, all my web pages, YouTube videos.
All good.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, so making little mistakes, like quitting my web browser. Let's see. So yeah. So I'll just go. So that actually is why I switched to LangChain. And in here, to switch from OpenAI to Hugging Face, I just uncomment this out and comment that out. So that's all I have to do to switch. However, I tried it and the output from this was just garbage. It was completely useless. So, but they don't charge for that. And so that's where I was at, was that, OpenAI charges. So last night I tried this and I racked up $20. So, but yeah, so you have an account and you get a key. Yep, there's the keys. You get a key, and then you have to add that to your shell, and then you can run this. And this is what it looks like. And this is actually gonna rack up some credits, but let me bring this up. So it's gonna run. I'm gonna run this convert to lots. I'm great at naming. Basically, it's just going through this list, and I kind of these are brew formula that I've picked. I got the names from Homebrew. Where am I at? So not there, but so I added Homebrew here. And it's going, the first version would download it from the webpage, but I just put it local. So as a Git submodule, and that way, so it's a submodule. And that way, if you unit the submodules, it'll actually download those into your project, and so it can just reference them directly. But so it's pointing to the Homebrew formula, and I had to go through and make this list manually, and I used grep to try to figure out, is this C or is it going to be use the Mason, I don't know how to say it, Mason build or Go, and so I kind of made these lists, These are the top 300. They're from the top 300. So if you go to the pantry and you do the issues, they're all from the top 300. So, Homebrew's got like 6,000 formula, 6,000 down there, 6,600. So I only picked the top 300. And so basically just runs each one of these through this convert to T script. So it runs it through here, and it basically all this does is put that template together and run it through the large language model, which is that right there. And because the output is kind of not that great, I do it 3 times, so repeats 3 times. And I just check to make sure right there that it's got the word distributable in the output. That's all I'm really doing. And then I'm saving the files, and so here's some of the saved files. Yeah, so is there any questions up to now?
Yeah, I had a question. Are you looping over in the convert lots, are you just looping over everything in that 300 list?
Yep.
In kind of like, so prompt by prompt, right? Okay.
Yep. So it's doing the language, and then it's doing the project in each language.
And did you find a kind of like in your output, did you see that it performs better with certain languages, or
I didn't try it without, so I don't know, but this way the example's at least similar to the language. So here's the old output. You could actually see the prompt. Well, towards the end, you could see the actual prompt. And so this is what I was generating. This was the example. So this is the brew version of, how do you say it, Eigen, and here's the T version. So this T version is something that's already packaged. So this is working. And then it's supposed to take this brew formula that doesn't have a T version, and then the rest is supposed to be, this is where the AI is supposed to fill in the blank and provide the T version. And so I think that it's helps, but I haven't gone through the examples. So the examples, I've got this example file. These are the examples. So there's the brew version, there's the T version, there's the brew version, there's the T version. I kind of grouped them by language, but I haven't actually looked at them to see if some of them are better than others. So there is room for improving this by cleaning up the examples and making sure they're more applicable. I'm sure there's other languages I haven't even done yet. And also, as far as the future of this, I don't imagine it's going to be a tool that people. I mean, there's 6,000 homebrew formula. This might turn out to be a long running tool, but also to me to really make this really, really good, I would probably want to fine tune a model or create embeddings for a model. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around those ideas, but I think that's kind of the idea is you take a large language model and you tailor it for this type of thing so that it speaks, it can speak homebrew formula really well. It can speak T formula really well. And to even extend it past that, I think it would be awesome to train it on package management system like Debian's packaging management apt, and the Red Hat version, Yum, and even maybe Mac ports, just to have a large language model that knows how to build software. And then to me, that would be the holy grail of this. And then it'd be real easy. I mean, probably the prompt would still matter, but I doubt it would matter as much. But I mean, that may not matter. We may not have to do that. So, but I'm kind of using this as an excuse to learn AI. So I probably will try to fine tune a model. Anyway, any other questions? I don't know where the questions are in Discord. So
yeah, I just wanted to say this is great, and I think it's very promising. Like, I think Jacob should totally spin up probably a separate repo, because we don't want to fill Pantry with tons of these attempts at builds. But just spin it up and try to run it across all of the homebrew formula and see what we get. See if we can actually bring any in. And like the idea of training it on all these other packaging systems is great, because there's so many little fixes and little tidbits in all of that knowledge. And well, a tool that could just in theory like build anything using AI as the knowledge base is super powerful, and certainly we would enjoy building on top of that with T. So yeah, great job.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll why don't I actually try to get one of these to work? So like I could do I thought HTTPD was in here, but I don't see it now. I think it's in this one. There it is. Did I miss it down here? It's not there. All right. Well, anyway, so the HTTPD, this is the first version, so that failed. This does not look promising, but maybe that failed. Maybe actually it is that complicated to make HTTPD. But so, you know, again, this is kind of the drawback of doing this is, you know, now you have to actually know this stuff a little bit. So so you know, I'm not going to start with that. I'm actually going to go to the homebrew formula and actually look at the real formula to see. So these are the things it depends on, and I don't recognize these three. So that's probably where I should start. Actually, I don't recognize that either. So if I went up here to APR, there's APR util. So that's actually where I would have to start. And I'm just going to see if it's got it in here. Yeah, so it's got it in here. Why don't I start in here? So here's how I would do it. So I would go and I would find this output. This, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go to my T directory. T to my, this is my cloned repo. Just going to put it right here. And I'm going to open a shell to that directory. And I'm going to, in projects, I'm going to paste this directory. And let's open this. BB edit. And I'm just going to pick one of these. And sure, let's just pick this one. So I'm going to rename it to just package. And then let's see, let's hide that one. I'm going to play dangerously. I'm going to say package build APR util. No OAuth token. Oh, I had to hide my passwords. Okay. Okay, so surprise, surprise, it didn't work. So the first thing, and now it's just regular packaging. So I'm gonna look at these others to see if they have a different URLs. They don't. I'm gonna go online and look to see if Apache's on GitHub as APR, I think.
So it looks like what it's complaining about is that your dependencies aren't fully explicit package names, because it's saying it can't find expat as opposed to.
Oh,
yeah. So if you look at it doesn't have the full namespace.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's this Darwin thing.
Well, that's different dependencies for different systems, right? So on Darwin, it thinks it's using expat, lab xcrypt, and it's using mock for some reason on Linux. So it's definitely crazy, but
I'm wondering where I got that from, because I don't see that.
That's the whole idea, no, of the AI going crazy.
Yeah. So, usually what I'll do is I'll just comment this all out. It's there. So, and this mirror, that doesn't belong in there either. So, and it's going to error anyway. But this is actually one of the feature requests I was going to ask, is if it's an unfinished package like this, it'll say, "Oh, I'm missing this," or I don't know, but because this is kind of how I like doing it. And you notice it's got the GitHub stuff. And this is actually on GitHub, and they do have releases. Oh, they don't. I said it did, but they have the tags here. So, is this the correct? It's not the correct directory. So I think that'll get the versions, and I think it'll show the versions. Yep, it's fetching the versions. So the versioning worked. The URL. So because they don't have the releases here, I have to actually get it from the website. So if I just go here, that's a weird URL. So I'm gonna look at these others. Huh.
The URL is correct. It took it from the homebrew formula.
Yeah. So it's got the same one. So did it actually work? Let's look. So if I go to my build directory, it actually worked. No, that's the wrong one. It didn't work. And the sources, but it downloaded it. No, it didn't. What the heck is that? Lua. Oh, look at that, Lua. I don't know. I have to figure this out, but this is kind of how I would, what I do with the output. So it's not a magic bullet. It doesn't, imagine if we worked on this over time and got it really good. I mean, maybe it would actually spit something out that you could actually run and hope that it produces something. I mean, 10, 20, 30 years, I imagine it will. But, we're
hopefully closer in shorter time than that.
Right? 10, 20 years, probably AI will be brushing our teeth and stuff. So I don't know.
Have you gotten into any limitations in terms of token size? Because I know OpenAI limits token size.
Yeah. The one that am trying to do that hits the limit is PHP. So I haven't actually looked at it to see why. But so if I do PHP, it's long. So, I do have a script in here, or some code in here that, where is it at? It actually cleans up the brew formula a little bit. And basically if it, starts with this and ends with that, it just removes it. So for example, brew uses bottles, that like that code right there is just flat out removed. Resource description SHA license. So I could, wow. That's a lot of code. I don't know what it all does, but this is the one that hit the limit. I would probably, I don't know. I think it's a patch. Yeah. I don't know if this is required either. I mean, the homebrew people added it, so I imagine it probably is. I wouldn't know how to convert that into something that T would handle. So,
yeah, it's interesting. They also released a tokenizer that can kind of count your tokens before you actually send a request. I thought that was pretty good to check.
When I did it the first time, this first output directory, it actually went through all of them without. It was only like $5. So, yeah, $4. And then last night I did it with my new prompt that had a lot more characters in it. and it didn't finish. It got up to what, M, before before I ran out of money. So I mean, I was just using the free stuff. So, but yeah, I can actually show it because I put my credit card in so that I can. Where's that window? So you watch it running. So yeah, it'll just start with the first one on the list again, which is this. I might as well. So here's what I would do to pick up where I left off. Let me hide that. I would go to this mini zip. So I'll find it in the convert lots mini zip, and I'll just comment everything else out. So yeah, and this is why it's not really a tool yet, command line tools, because yeah, let's comment this out. Because there's too much code editing. So these are the examples that it picked. Wait a second. No, that's the product. I can't remember what this is. This is the example, the homebrew in the pantry. So let's see if it shows me results as it's running. Oh, it started at AOM. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. That's the problem. There we go. So this is what it's just producing right now. And then it just did this one. And there's the prompts. And you see it's really fast. And we can actually watch my usage go up. So it shows you in real time.
You should probably not run it
I guess
against all the list.
this is how I racked up. This is how I used all my token real fast. So I'm just gonna cancel it now. I did a few. And
but what's really cool is it does give you that initial structure, right? Like that initial package YAML file that you can, like, if you go to like this the example that it just produced, like Molten or Moss JPEG. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty, like, on first glance it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't see if, like, what would be wrong about this. I
mean, I can go take one of those and try and build it. So output, Moss JPEG, peg, and dump it in projects.
The only thing is interesting, it has like a empty dependency key inbuilt. I guess it didn't.
So that'll fail
to take this out. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll fail the YAML.
But it learns how to, like, set arguments, like environment variables for build. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it never seems to work the very first time. Let's just get rid of that because I think that's wrong.
I feel like the error is somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, the errors here are just astronomical. Versions, GitHub. Anyway, let me try a different one. This. Oh, you know what? I'm editing the wrong. I need to edit a different. This. That's why it didn't fix, because I was editing the wrong file. So comment all this out. Yeah, look at that. So I can even try the build.
So it does seem like the version that it's getting is prefixed with, like,
Oh yeah, duh. CMake. Whoops, I hate that. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy if this one actually works. Close. CD build. The heck?
No, so this is for CMake specifically. If you add just above script, if you add another key called working dash directory, and then you call it like 2 dots build, and then you can remove make directory build CD build. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little spooky. I didn't even have to strip anything.
Yeah, that's surprising me too. But maybe Jacob knows why.
Moz JPEG?
Okay, there's a build error in the end.
Yes, we got an error. It's like, no, it can't work. It's too good. So yeah, I can actually go and compare the requirements. But yeah, it's a little spooky that it got this far. And you know,
It could, but it didn't complain there.
You have to install it.
Yeah, that error looks like it's because it's not
Oh.
in the prefix directory at the end, so it can't.
oh yeah.
Yeah, you make
Oh.
install. Yeah.
So what? Oh yeah, they have a make install right after that. It didn't put in. Well,
I think you have to set prefix directory.
oh yeah, yeah. I don't know how to do that. You guys are gonna have to help me. I have to look this stuff up still.
Can check any other CMake formula, but yeah, Brew does that automatically, which was something I added because I wanted everyone to be able to write these packages without needing to understand fully how they worked. And this time around, I decided that everyone needs to fully understand how this stuff works.
So let me just share that real quick with you. I'll paste it here in the Discord.
Which
Um,
Discord?
It's in the office hours, so
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's
remember on that. Okay.
it's dash dmake underscore install underscore prefix.
Dash
So you'll just
DMix?
add it to args. No, you just add it to args.
Args.
I don't know what was going through the CMake devs' heads when they decided on all this stuff. It's just so ugly, so horrible. Like, you know, specifying -D flags to CMake itself. How does that make sense? I don't know what they were thinking.
If you yeah,
There,
so
I got
it's you got
I
it?
got it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Takes me a while to find this chat thing.
Yeah. Cool. It's interesting that it picked the install libdir, like, but not the install prefix from the other ones.
Let's see. So did it work? No, T. Is it called Moz? Jeez Louise. Look at that. I'm a little spooked out. So yeah, it looked like it worked.
That's nice.
Well, should I commit it?
That's a success.
Funny.
Yeah, I mean you can mention the provides keys and then it's searchable with the magic and then a test. The test should be fine.
So pretty sure the libpng will have to be a runtime deb.
It won't
Yes.
be.
It has to be a runtime.
Has to be okay. So
It doesn't have to be, but it's very likely to be because it's unlikely to statically build it into its own binary.
okay, let's try this again. I guess I didn't need to rebuild it, did I? So let's do the test.
You could
That would
just
be also a question I have.
Whoops, didn't work there.
Jacob, do you know by any chance if I change one dependency to a runtime dependency, do I need to rebuild it?
no, since it built, it already had the dependency during build, and moving it to a runtime dependency just makes it available more often, not less often. So you can easily promote it. And in fact, if you run the test and it's like, hey, I can't find this library, you just promote it to a runtime dependency, and then you can run the test again. No rebuild necessary.
We already have a test JPEG fixture, I think for like libjpeg, so you can symlink it, or just no, you'd have to symlink it, yeah.
So it's gonna be libjpeg. That. So I would put that in here. So ln lib. Oh, wasn't it turbo?
libjpeg-turbo.org.
JPEG turbo, and it was called fixture. Okay. And so then in my package prompt, I could just say fixture. So the Linux didn't build. So I did the Linux and then that didn't build, but let me do the tab.
It needs make. So I don't know why CMake needs make, but that's how it goes. So you just need to
don't you
guys-
guys,
Yeah, well, CMake generates make files or Ninja files, doesn't actually do the build itself.
txyz/gx. Oh no, gx to make, not the C compiler.
from memory. I don't have it memorized yet, so
And I bet you'll need a C compiler as well.
oh,
So that'll be fun.
GNU.org.
txyz/cc or /gx/cc.
Yeah, correct.
So, yeah, the same.
Like that.
C99 is the version.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the one weird one. No C compiler found. Yep. Yeah, the problem, of course, is that macOS masks that need by having it be provided, but we need to be
Right.
explicit in case for some reason Apple starts shipping without compilers and make and everything else.
Well, if you ever have a computer, I haven't tried this, but I tried a lot, at the beginning, but a macOS computer that doesn't have the developer tools.
Yeah, I really want that to work. I want that to work, but the biggest issue is we need the SDK for a lot of this stuff. A lot of open source expects the macOS SDK, and that comes with the command line tools package. But I think what we might end up doing is illegally redistributing the SDK. don't quote me on that.
Isn't this video being recorded?
Well,
All right.
we're on video now.
Okay, so
We can like beep it out.
yeah.
I don't think Apple will care is the reason. They have a license on it which says that only they can distribute it, but this is for the good of developers on their platform.
So all right. I think I've shown plenty. I mean, I can't even I don't think I hardly changed anything at all on this. Here,
Yeah.
I think I can,
Just
Oh,
moving around
undo and see exactly how much I changed.
And the most powerful part is just, sort of templating it, essentially, like filling in those initially fiddly bits and then giving you a good hint about what it needs to be, and then you can proceed from there. That's super useful just by itself.
Yeah.
And it picked numbers on its own.
Yeah, it
So
looks like it picked the most recent majors.
Did it really?
Hopefully it'll learn the hardest part, which is creating the namespace, because naming those
Yeah.
projects is a pain in the butt.
But you're already supplying that in the prompt, no? Like a lot
Yeah.
of the namespaces. So that's
Yeah.
I think that's the key.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was afraid of with my prompt is that I was afraid that I actually was sending it off. So the prompt, because I say that dependencies are followed by a colon and either a number represented the minimum number or the text, that to indicate any version. And I was afraid that would just cause it to pick any number. But I think what I should say is, if you don't know, you don't know the version, I think that will help it out. One of the really crazy things that I learned about, I've been studying the AI, and one of the crazy things I learned is that it, ASCII is like you're converting, or ASCII or Unicode is converting letters to numbers, and the early language models were converting words to numbers, but these current large language models are actually converting meaning to numbers. And so when I realized that it actually can understand meaning, that you should just talk to it like it knows what you mean. And so I think that was my big revelation, and that's when I finally kind of unleashed on this prompt and started just filling stuff out. So
Can you go to the top of your prompt? How does it start? Okay, nice.
So because the other one I had it packaged GPT, I took that from your example, and kept saying that it didn't know how to read format, the Ruby format. So I changed it to convert, and that you convert from Ruby to YAML and you understand Ruby. So I think that's why there's less of those prompts saying I don't understand this. So
That's very smart.
All right. I think it worked too. I guess I'll I sure wasn't thinking that I would actually be able to. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, you know why? The test needs to it needs the dependency. It needs libjpeg.
That's already a runtime dependency, so
Yeah, it's already
it already
runtime.
have it.
It's not.
Oh,
It needs a C compiler, right? Oh no, it doesn't. Sorry.
I think it can only just not open the the fixture.
I think the problem is that it's moving because of where the test is. That symlink probably isn't pointing to anything, so you probably just need to copy the file over and not symlink it. Sorry, Max.
Are you sure that it's downloaded on the? Let me try this new feature that was just added.
Yeah, so you can add an ls-l and you'll be able to see that the symlink points to someplace that's not where the other packages fixtures are, right? So the test bed ends up somewhere other than the pantry, so that relative symlink isn't going to work.
Okay, I believe you. I don't quite understand what I'm supposed to do, but I believe you.
Just instead of symlinking it, just copy it. So you've got a duplicated fixture.
Oh, okay. So,
We probably should just have a fixtures directory and then make that available to any test.
Shared fixtures would be useful, yes.
So that should work now. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Do I need to build it again, or can I just?
Not at all. Just test it.
See, did I?
Wait, are you sure it's not just you use the JPG extension instead of JPEG?
That
Oh,
also
yeah,
might be it. Good catch.
Oh, it's got it right there though. But it's looking for JPEG.
And your Moz JPEG.
I don't know if I'm editing the right file. I'm not.
No, you currently, so you're just in the libjpeg right now. You need to go to your Moz JPEG.
Well, you can check the test beds directory for it. See if
There we
you put
go.
it there.
Okay, I
There
figured
we
it
go.
out.
It's always an exciting adventure of running the same command 20 times with slight differences in your YAML. There you go.
Yeah, I think it worked. Didn't it work? Okay,
Yep.
that's real spooky. I guess I should fix the name on it too. Because I don't think it's really called Moz JPEG. Mozilla. Yeah, see, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, it might be mozilla.org/mozjpeg. That's probably the least stupid name for it.
There it is. Oh, wait, call it what?
I'd probably call it mozilla.org/mozjpeg. That way all the Mozilla code will have its own namespace.
So move Moz to mozilla.org.
Yeah.
And I never know if I should create a directory in here or I mean should I call it Moz JPEG?
Yeah, I would, because mozilla.org isn't any specific software, right?
Yeah,
If there was a piece, I mean, if,
Firefox, right?
right, I think Firefox has its own. I think Firefox is at firefox.org.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But if you were building Mozilla, I might just put that under mozilla.org. But I think that's been dead for 20 years now.
So I should probably move the fixture in there too.
You're gonna want to, yeah.
So get status, get checkout branch. What is this? Mozilla. Um Here we go. We're gonna. Oops. There. Oops. I always forget that. And I don't use the command line very much, so. Okay, I guess I'm done.
Nice. You can add like the AI generated this package, which it kind of did.
Yeah.
At least 50%, if not
Did
more.
most of the work.
You're saying we need a pull request label for AI generated?
That'd be fun.
Okay. Well, any other questions?
That was pretty cool. What's next? What do you think is going to be next? Or what do you feel like you want to improve or need help on improving?
Well, dang, that was so easy that I might just go with what I've got and see how many of these I can actually build. So I don't think I've I can't remember if I've uploaded this latest batch or not. Let's see, convert. Yeah. So that was from here. So I mean, if anyone else wants to try it out, here it is. Oh no, that I did that one today. So but these should be the similar quality. So and the funny thing is that it's not GPT-4. So it's this JPEG 3 or GPT 3.5 turbo. So
That's good.
Great.
Otherwise, the bill would be 10 times as high, probably.
yeah, totally. So yeah. You know, I went through the top 300 list looking for stuff that I want really bad, and honestly, a lot of what I want has already been done. The micro editor was like the last one because I just think it's so cool. So anyway, I mean, there's still lots of stuff that I need to package up, but on the top 300, yeah. So it's just a bunch of busy work now. So
Super cool.
yep.
Yeah, and thanks so much for sharing. I think it was cool. It was a different experience of packaging for sure.
Yeah.
It's also
So-
good to always see like other people's workflow, I think. It's like everyone has their own style of how they work with editors and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's always something.
I've put myself in a rut because I'm so addicted to BB Edit. I can hardly stand VS Code, which means I can't switch to Linux. So that's been my.
What does
pet
the
peeve.
temperature in this OpenAI line 80 do?
It's how. So I'm not sure exactly whether low or high determines what it does, but I know that it's measuring how far away it's willing to go from the. I'm not sure if it's the training data or the prompt, because I know that it, you can adjust the language models so that it matches the training data. It'll just spew out stuff from the training data that it thinks it's supposed to. But if you give it, like a lot of leeway, then it'll. This is what they start calling hallucinating and stuff, or novel. Oh, that's a brand new idea. If you give it a whole bunch of leeway, then it'll just start throwing things together into what it, basically what the math thinks it should be, but in some cases it's total hallucination, right? So but the lower, I think it's the lower the temperature, the less willing it is to do that. I think. I'm still learning.
Yeah, but it's great. And thanks so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Cool. Are there any other questions?
I'll go stop sharing my screen. Yeah, unless there's questions. I don't see any.
Yeah, me neither. No, that's been great. Any other questions in general? I mean, I think the Discord, we've moved the packaging, or we've become much more active in the packaging channel of our Discord, kind of like moving all our conversations also over there to just share more out in the open. And then I think, I've been getting a lot of good questions. Also want to shout out to Leon Dreamed. You asked really good questions. In the last couple of weeks. So that's been great.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to adopt T for a custom project I've been working on, and like I had my own like auto install with Homebrew before, but that kept breaking because Homebrew was like a global thing. So I experimented with T. I was like solved a lot of my use cases, and I had a lot of things I wanted to do with it. So yeah, that's kind of been how I got started with those questions.
Cool. And have they how's it going with that custom project? Is it working the way you had hoped or that you had expected?
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not sure if there's like a standard way to do this, but basically it's like the project uses like a node monorepo, and then there's some like dependencies like Mixer or kubectl that I don't want my like collaborators to have to install manually. So like I was trying to work on scripts to like auto install it because I hated it when I had to like create a README with instructions on how to install all these things you needed. I wanted to automate that. So that's why I used T to basically just automate the process of installing all those local dependencies so that other developers didn't have to deal with like following a setup README. And it works pretty well. Yeah. I was really surprised
Awesome.
when like worked first try on their computer because usually you have to like debug a lot of homebrew stuff and like debug their setup. But then when I like migrated to T, it just worked out of the box, which is really, really cool.
That's a very quotable sentence that you just gave from yourself. No, that's perfect. I mean, that's exactly one of the use cases that Max and the team had in mind, right? It's not fiddling with installation, and it works out of the box. And especially, just when you work in the same repo or in the same project, that everyone has access to the same dependencies. Yeah. Regardless of which machine it is. That's really great that it works for you. Super happy to hear that. And yeah, keep experimenting, keep the questions coming, please.
Yeah, and thank you all so much for creating T. It's a really, really cool package. I'm surprised it isn't more popular, to be honest. But yeah, it's really sick.
Appreciate to hear that. Cool. Yeah, I think Magnus Fury, did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say it is pretty new. So
Yeah.
and I've bumped into a few people that are hostile to new things, and so it's kind of surprising to me. So especially with brew being already established, it's not that they're for brew and against tea. It's just they're hostile to new.
Yeah, I think with me, because I'm like working on this startup, and so it's like startups are usually more open to adapting new technologies. Like I couldn't imagine introducing this in like a actual company infra workflow, but like since I'm like creating everything from scratch, it's kind of like I can use whatever I want, which is really, really liberating. And so I can experiment with stuff like T, which makes the workflow a lot better, rather than have to like deal with like all the company stuff that you usually can't get across. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. There's definitely, there's probably a convergence point where, at a certain level of whether it's, I mean, the feature set of the TCLI is pretty good already. It does a lot more than Homebrew does. I mean, there's like the last couple things. I mean, we get questions for like sim linking a lot, but we also have ideas for that. If I think the other channel, DigComfort, is one of the candidates who loves sim linking, and also Magnus Very mentioned that very early on. So I think in the package channel it was Max said something that we're thinking around like post install hooks and stuff like that, to kind of decouple the sim linking and just make it available for people or for developers who like sim linking and not force it on everyone. And I think these really like thoughtful, I don't even know how to say that, but yeah, just thinking about it very carefully from a developer's point of view, en masse is, I think, what makes T really great. And it's only really possible because it's at that stage that it is, right? Like where we're on the way to the V1.
I think that you mentioned me as being one of the early users. I haven't used sim linking in a long time, and I think a big reason is that I would like it is so that I could just have tab completion. I mean, I think sim linking for certain infrastructure is important. Like if you're doing scripts and you specify a full path to a script, but I think it's mostly just for the tab completion.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good point as well. I think the auto completions. I mean, that's something that we could also look at. and start like see if there's a way to support them. I have no idea how that works, but there's that's the cool thing, right? Like you can always there's always a way to learn it. So all right. Yeah, I think that's it for the community office hour. Huge thanks to Magnus Vieri for the presentation, for packaging, getting us to another package closer to completion. I don't know, not completion, but yeah, just getting those numbers up. That's super helpful. Helps everyone, and that's the cool thing about the package manager, because a network in a way, and even one contribution of a package instantly helps every other user on that network. So it's really helpful. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Convert to T. I'll see if I can hack something on it as well. I'd love to try the open source models, but I kind of understand why. It's probably takes a lot more fine tuning to get them just right. And I guess OpenAI is just a little bit bigger still at this stage. But yeah, the prompt's super helpful. So yeah, if there's nothing further from you, the community, then I'd call it a day. I mean, for many of you, it's the early day, but some of you maybe are already like in the evening. But I would love to thank you for joining and listening in and contributing with questions, comments, and generally supporting us. Super helpful. Thank you so much. And yeah, if anyone obviously wants to, present something else, whether they've built something with T or just use T in a project, I'd love to get more community visibility into these office hours, just like we did today. I mean, it was kind of Magnus Vieri was the guinea pig for this experiment and did really well. And so I'd love no pressure on anyone. Of course, it's all voluntary. So, but if anyone wants to show something cool that they've built involving T in some way, I'd be happy to schedule another session with you the next time. Otherwise, we'll keep having community office hours at these regular intervals, and yeah, that's it. That's it from me. I will just mute myself and turn off recording, and then have a wonderful day, evening, or night.